One day, everything to now has been the foreplay. Darling, I would follow you to Norway or anywhere you wanted, 'cause I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, I'm not bad myself, but you're amazing. You're amazing. One day, when we're getting wrinkly and our hair's grey, a rusty old banger in the driveway, one of us will maybe wear a toupee, but I will be in love with you.
Hello, hello, hello. Incredible impact makers from all over the world. Welcome back. Welcome back to many of you who are already on the journey for 4 weeks. And welcome Beirut. Welcome Anya. And Dennis and Carolyn are joining from the first week. Welcome on this transformational journey. And how we're going to start is how we always do. We're going to start off with some wins. So before I'm going to share how to leverage the stage and how to create your keynote, I would love to hear some absolutely amazing moments from all of you. So who would love to start for that? What can we celebrate with you on your speaking journey? And if you're like, well, I just started this thing, maybe that is a win. And I will assure you that when you focus on this, you will start to notice that you have actually many, many wins that we can already celebrate. Daphne, you're first. Let's go.
Hi, good morning. I am just about done my draft for my speech for the in the next few weeks, and I'm very excited about it. It's going to be awesome.
I love that.
I
I
can't wait to
love
share
that.
it with you.
Yes, and I mean, we just checked all the documents. We will talk a little bit about it as well. The blueprints that you have access to, where you can put in your notes so we can see. And I was like, she put it all in. Let's go. Well done, Daphne. Well done. Super good.
Thank
And
you.
I love that you say it's going to be awesome. Who feels that too, by the way, of your talk? I'm not talking perfection, but who feels it's going to be awesome? I want you all to own that. Okay, great. Super. Nicole, what about you?
Sure, I guess a win this week is I put in that TEDx submission. I said, why not? Let's go for, I call it the Husky trifecta because actually the first two were both at institutions where their mascots were Huskies. So I said, if I'm going to do a third one, I'm going to go for the institution that's also a Husky. So I
Let's
submitted
go.
to it, and it is a little less academic and a little bit more personal, and has some of the nerdy elements to it. So it's a little bit more out of my comfort zone, but it actually is more holistic. So that is a win. And I did use the blueprint document and I added more tabs. So I do have my speech kind of written out on a tab. And then I also started putting my TEDx talk in there in another tab. So I'm
Let's
really
go.
using that a lot. So I feel like it's been a very productive week.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. And when you say I applied for my third TEDx talk, how does that feel?
Stressful, more stressful than the first two,
And why is that?
because I know what it's like to do the first two, and this one is um this one I feel like is more I guess it's got more personal stories, and I know what I did wrong in the first two. I say wrong, but I know what I could do better. So I feel
Mm,
like I could do this one 10 times better than I did the first two.
mm.
Yeah.
Well said. Beautiful. And that is the balance that we're all working with, right? Some of you are more comfortable with the personal stories, and it's like, oh my God, the adding credibility, it doesn't even feel that I'm credible to do this. And some of you are like academically really, really well developed and very recognized in your industry. And how to add those personal layers, even though we understand logically that is really important, is more of a challenge. So you're all somewhere on the spectrum, and our goal is to first and foremost recognize where you are and then to level up to the next level. So absolutely well done, and we cannot celebrate people saying yes to that third application, Nicole. Well done. And I think it's really cool for you to share that in the community as well, because I'm sure that there's many people who are excited to know how the process is going and how they can model that as well. So well done. John, what about you?
Good morning, everyone. So I spent a lot of time on the blueprint. I made some great headway on it, the stories and everything like that. So I worked on it a little this morning, and I think it's really coming together well. I'm going back and I'm watching the videos again to really do the transitions and everything. I think I have a really good, strong foundation at the moment. So what would be the next steps as to sharing it? Because you guys can see this now, right, as I work in it. Is that true?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So once I kind of get it together, should I throw it in the community? Should I share it with you and Luke? What's the process?
Yeah, this is a very great share and a very good question as well, right? As all of you know, and Anya and uh, Beirut and Charlene and Dennis, in the new round, you'll have access to your personal blueprint, right? The Google Docs document that you can fill in all your notes. The reason why it's a Google Docs is because we're able to see it. Now, Sean, the cool thing is, and this is just what Nicole experienced, like Nicole applied to a third TEDx talk. Now, who here would love to know how she did that? How she did that? 100% of the room, right? Isn't that cool, right? These shares are not just for you to be excited about something, but it's also to expose everybody else to what's possible. So Sean, it's the same thing with this, right? This document is for yourself to download all your notes. Is that when you have a question, it's easy to see what you've already done. When you have your one-on-one bonus call, which all of you have closer to your actual gig, so we go through your steps that we are able to see and show you, oh, here is when I would change it because. So you see the process in front of you. But this is also a beautiful way to share it with your peers, with all of you, to share the document in the chat and maybe even also add a video to it. It's like, this is how I build it. This is now what I created. What do you guys think? And just for you to create that and ask specific questions is such a good tool for yourself. Does that make sense?
Without a doubt. And I was definitely going to start practicing the different stories, the openings and the closings, opening Zoom every day and just practice, and then also recording it and sharing it with the community as well.
Yes. Let's go. Well done. Good job, Sean. Laverne.
Great rising, everyone. So I'm doing it scared, but I'm doing it. And I'm very excited about very excited
Yes.
about my presentation. I think it explains exactly who I am and what I do and my niche. I have to say I learned a lot from looking at the videos before and then from the presentations last week. They were so amazing. So I feel like in my head, I feel like I'm on point. But I'm sure I need support. So I'm excited. I have not
Yes.
put it in the print, and thank you very much, Sean, for mentioning that because I don't know what I was thinking, but I will definitely do that. I look forward to the feedback and I'm looking forward to presenting because I'm excited. I'm
Let's
scared.
go. You guys being excited and being ready 4 weeks before you're actually going out there. You have no idea how much, some people sometimes use the language, I feel behind. which would assume that there's a certain time to be somewhere, right? Based on your own expectations of comparing with other people. But if I would even buy into the narrative, then you're all in front. So well done. Good job.
Thank you.
And we're going to do the wins after each other. And right after, we're also going to do an introduction round. So we're going to share who we are, because there's some new people. And we're going to do it in a way where we include storytelling as a practice immediately. But before we do that, Anya, what can we celebrate with you today?
So I have been going through all of the videos and I love them. I'm really enjoying the whole way that you're presenting and breaking it down and your examples, and I'm learning a lot. And I've almost finished them all, which for me, I feel like is already a big victory.
Yes,
Um,
100%.
but the celebration is really that I was sitting on the couch having a conversation with my husband last night whilst doing my KonMari folding. How cool am I? And we were talking about my podcast launch, which is happening next week, and the some of the social media posts that I've been putting out there. And he was giving me a bit of a critique, and it was a really interesting conversation. But then somehow we got onto the conversation about how when we've got little kids, and when you play games with little kids, there's a point where they start getting frustrated, and they feel like they're not losing, and so they start negotiating the rules of the game and try and start changing the rules of the game. And he was like, "Isn't that just like life?" And I thought, "Oh my God, this is so profound." And I think that this is going to play a really big part in my speech. So I'm really, really excited to bring that in. I've started my story journal thing. I can't remember what you called it. And
I
I'm
call it
all
the
very
story journal thing. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one, and I've started populating it already, and I'm very, very excited about now putting it all into action.
Oh, let's go, you guys. So good. You know what I love so much about this one, Anya, is like you recognize stories while they're happening, right? That is the behavior that I want for all of you. It's not to create one epic hero's journey. It's not to create one talk that now you can practice forever and download, and that's going to be the one. It's like stuff changes, content changes, you changes, the audience changes, the time frame changes, all the things change all the time. And by you able to recognize things that are happening in the moment and immediately leverage them as transformation for others, that's what this truly is about. That is what this truly is about. So let's go. And let's go by bringing people around you along the journey. Because how fun is it to kind of like go back and forth with people so you don't need to do it all by yourself, and now you got support at the same time. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Ivo.
Yes, I had a wonderful experience last week because Nicole invited me to have a podcast with her, and she went deep into really deep questions. And then my head stopped, and I just talking in English. And so I was really amazed afterwards that I can do this. It's not so difficult, what I thought. So I'm really looking forward to the gig. And I stopped a lot of telling inside stories, which Luke mentioned yesterday. They're not true anymore. So it's a little big win for me.
Oh man, that is so cool. That is so cool. Absolutely amazing. Isn't it cool when you start to realize, oh wait, I can do this. I did this. I will do this. It's something I can totally do. It's something that all of you can totally do, right? The level of success that you're able to achieve with speaking has a lot to do with how you, what you feel, who you feel you need to be in order for you to quote unquote become a speaker, instead of realizing that you're already all doing it and that we're just adding more to it. And every time the stage becomes bigger and the story becomes better and it improves, but it's not something you need to do it to become in order for you to be able to do it. You're already ready. That's so amazing. And before we go to Charlene, Nicole, how was this for you to interview Ivo? And what I'm looking for is not it was fun, it was great, I love to, it's
Other
the other
Nicole.
Nicole. Ah,
The other
okay,
Nicole.
that's good to know. Okay, so what we're going to hear later is in the community probably is how it was for her to get to know you, right? And what you're going to notice is that you're building a relationship with the host that's deeper because they've been listening to your stories the entire time, not to your content. They're not just thinking, oh, he knows what he's doing, but also, oh, this guy is growing on me, right? I feel more connected to him now, knowing these specific elements about him as a person. So that is going to be really fun. When it's aired, Ivo, please share the link in the WhatsApp group so everybody is able to listen to it if they want to. Cool? Perfect. Charlene, what about you?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. What is a win? Well, I'm in the middle of a conference sequence. I just got back from San Diego, California, and I'm on my way to Boston to present Core Spring. And I was thinking about stages. I had 2 official classes that I taught and then 2 stage demonstrations for 15 minutes each, but I actually gave 52 demonstrations, 1-to-1 or 1-to-several in my booth. So I don't know, what does that add up to? Almost 60 stages.
Yes.
But something really interesting happened. A woman who was giving a what's trending presentation said, if you want to know what's trending in the future of Pilates and Pilates group exercise, go talk to that woman. And so I had all these people coming over to my booth saying, hey, she sent us over here because apparently you're the future. So what's going on? What is this thing?
Let's go.
Really interesting corporate accounts, potential accounts, that this is what it completely reformulated everything that I'm doing while I was there. I completely reformulated my 90-day challenge, my 30-day challenge.
Yes. Oh, good.
This small low price package that I sell at conferences, everything just completely came into place. Like,
yes.
So
what an
cool.
absolute phenomenal win. What an absolute phenomenal win for you and a model for everybody. Because what we often feel like is I have an offer. I am clear on what I'm sharing with people. Now I'm able to amplify that. And that's a beautiful way to think. But that also comes from a place that you design something that's perfect from the context of your own brain. And what you're sharing is I already had something that was working. I'm in this Pilates business for 20 plus years, 30 plus, a lot of freaking years. Now I'm experiencing a lot of content and I'm interacting with real people. I want to iterate. It's the same thing with your keynote, right? You're seeing exactly what's happening because you shared with real people, and then you're able to change something because it ties better to what they're actually needing in the moment. And that's the process that you're able to accelerate because you're not having that with one person, but with 60. Isn't that cool? And this is what we experienced when a lot of people went on stage in this community at once, is what happens to and this is what we're hearing, right, Sherlyn? Like people are able to see you from a different place because you're basically on stage. Then a second thing, and this is sometimes what we don't anticipate on, but what is happening as well, is other people who are not listening to you on stage also perceive you to be better, would not be the right word, but like higher, more credible, right? That's the woman you need to talk to. Was that person also watching you? Maybe not, because she was also hosting something else. But just the idea that you are on stage is going to elevate you also with people that are not literally listening to you in that moment. Isn't that cool? So you're all creating extra credibility, extra rapport, Anya, with your podcast, right? It's like you create your own stage in that way. But what if you now start to promote your podcast through other podcasts or other stages? And now people come in your ecosystem, they start to download your freebie, they start to listen to you or read your newsletter, they come to your event, they want to be part of your community. right? This is how it all compounds. So absolutely amazing. Alex, what can we celebrate with you? And by the way, for everybody who wasn't in a group set before, maybe Alex, you want to share about you watching the course as well. I think it was fun.
What do you mean? I'm watching the course in I think in micro series, like every time I have a piece of time, because I just don't want to binge watch it and don't digest the content. No,
Yeah,
I want to know what we're talking about and not just have it running on the side.
yeah, so good.
I
And you
tried
shared a
it
video. Yeah, yeah, go on.
at the beginning, doing listen to you to the course during the gym, and I don't have anything to write down or making notes, and yeah. So what to celebrate? I was in the last 48 hours more on the plane than on the ground. I had a call 2 days ago from a new client who got a reference from a competitor who cannot do the job. And this guy basically told a client, the only one who can sort you out is maybe Alex. And 24 hours later, I was in a plane to Jeddah because they have the Red Sea International Film Festival at the beginning of December, and they need some support from us. So yeah, I was the whole day yesterday on a site visit, and this morning I wrote the BOQ and flew back to Dubai. And while I was in the plane, my guys already put the quote together. That was the coolest thing. Though when I landed, I just needed to approve everything.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Let's go, Alex. Let's go. And the what I love so much about watching this journey for you is, and this is the video I was referencing, is you were in the middle of the night building some sort of event construction, and on the floor there's Alex watching the course, right? Just by leveraging
The video from last week.
Yes, yes. Is to leverage the small moments that you have and not buy into the language I'm behind. Because that language is only alive, that belief is only alive when you allow it to be. And what I want for all of you, because I also saw your your thing in the chat, Alex. I'm still not through the whole course. It's not a race. Like it's not a race. It really is not. Like what is happening, and this is the narrative that I all want you to buy into. What is happening is that a lot of work is happening on a conscious level in the blueprint, right? You're watching the course, you're filling in the blueprint, you're putting it all in there, and a lot of work is done subconsciously. When you're here, you're playing full out. These wins, we're already 22 minutes in, and maybe part of you is like, oh, we're still listening to wins. Who feels that these wins are part of the integration, part of, letting it sink in, hearing how other people implement, seeing actually, recognizing what you're actually already doing? Because sometimes it's so easy to look at everything you did not do and look at other people speaking and like, oh my God, I did it this way, I didn't do it that way yet, blah, 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 all these things. But in reality, you are leveling up every single day, even if you don't watch the course, even if you don't interact in the WhatsApp group, even if you don't share a win. It's already happening. And that is the proximity of being in such an intimate group. You're not alone. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I think it's
Absolutely.
what I learned over the last years, also being in this Tony environment. A lot of people beating themselves down and comparing to other people's levels 10 when they just started their journey. So it's also really
Yes.
great to look at it this way. And what I learned with also working on these events sometimes, you're always there when you need to be there, or you're always in the room when you have to be in the room. So it's always
Yes.
exactly the right time at the right moment. So
Yes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you are already all on the right time, in the right room at the right moment. So just know that. Know that as well. Barut, I see that you're driving and that you're in the car. Are you able to share a win or not yet?
Laurie, I need 5 minutes.
Okay, super. Then we
Okay.
just keep
I just
going, and
dropped
then
the
you will have
boys
your win
off.
in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're all good. You're all good. And you're playing full out. You're here. You're listening in. That's beautiful. So
Yeah.
what I would love to do is, again, some of you are on this journey for already 4 weeks. Some of you, this is today, you're like, this is it. I'm on the journey. So what I want to do now is I would love to do an introduction round, because all of you get the question very, very often, whether you recognize it or not. What do you do? What do you do? And on this journey, what we're doing is we're not trying to factually answer those things. To say, hey, I am Lori and I'm a public speaking coach. What do you want to do? And this is kind of like a fun exercise. You might not do this in real life, but what you want to do is you don't want to be understandable. You don't even want to be memorable. You want to be retellable. And retellable is kind of like the understandable and memorable in one. It's when people actually understand what it is that you're doing. So you don't need to explain it for 15 minutes, but you also stick out to all the other people they're speaking to. And what retellable is all about is that it sticks to their own brain, but they're also able to retell it to other people. And that's what real exponential growth is. It's not for you just to stand on stage and shine. It's also for other people to really, really understand what it is that you're doing, to remember that you were the one speaking, and now able to share that experience with other people. And that's really cool. That's a real cool exponential growth element. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce yourself to each other, and we're going to do that in a specific way where you're going to use an object that's in the room right now, in the room, an object that's currently in the room that shares something about your coolness. So we're going to make it very specific exercise. We want something in the room that defines your coolness. And with that object, you're going to introduce yourself and explain what it is that you're doing. Now, without further explanation on the tactics, on how exactly this works, some of you might want more clarification. I'm not giving it to you. So this is the place we're going to listen to Anya's win and say, well, if my kids can change the rules based on them winning, then you have my full permission to change the rules of this game in order for you to succeed. Because more often than not, you can always bend the rules, also when it comes down to speaking, also when it comes down to applying to TEDx's. And sometimes it's the rules that keep us stuck. So you have complete permission to change the rules. The only requirement is there's an object involved. It has something to do with your coolness, which basically means is we're learning something about you. And 2, you can share for 1 minute maximum, and I'm going to put a timer that you're able to see. So with that said, this is your 1 minute to collect your item. Let's go. Collect your item. You either want to walk or you're like, well, I see it right in front of me. I already have it. No worritos, Laurie. No worritos. 1 minute on the clock. Oh, Alex has something really interesting there. Anya already has something. If you have something, just show it briefly so we see that you're ready. Oh, Sean, he's getting ready over there. What do we got? Thumbs up. Thumbs up if you got it. Oh, we've got 30 minutes on the clock. Nicole, Laverne, Charlene. Maybe you're still getting something. Oh, we've got thumbs there. 20 seconds. Laverne is getting a big, big, big masterpiece. There we go. And she brought a big smile. I love it. All right. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to do this I obviously have the talking stick right now. I'm going to throw it at someone. That's when someone catches the mic, the 1 minute starts. And when it's finished, you're going to throw it at someone else. Okay, the time starts when you catch the mic. Ready? I'm really curious about Alex. I mean, that building seems very, very intriguing. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go.
Need to unmute myself. This thing is following me since I'm 16, and I've studied electrical engineering, and in the craftsman or developing your craftsman skills for 3 months. You had a lot of soldering exercises, and this whole it's like a power line mast from just in a miniature, and all these small items are very small copper pieces, and it took like a week to solder this all together, and I still keep it since more than 30 years as a reminder that I'm very creative when I want to be.
Yes, and the last 5, 6 seconds for people who don't know you to understand who you are and what you're doing.
Picking other people's fuck up.
Sorry, what?
I'm working in the events industry, and I'm basically I'm the middle piece between creative ideas from event producers to the technical side of things. And I'm in the middle because I'm very resourceful and find for everything a solution.
There you go. You can throw the mic.
The mic to Daphne.
My object
You got-
is,
You got to
Oh.
catch it. You got to catch it first.
Oh,
The mic. There
sorry.
you go.
I don't know how I forgot already. My object is a pool table that is a memory of my childhood that brings back the happiest memories, where it was an addition that my parents built on the house, that it was a big giant room that had so many options and opportunities to do so many things. And that was my area to create, to visualize, to exercise, and daydream. So there was things about the house on the east side of the house was I would watch the sunrise. And then on the west side of the house was a house that we didn't like. It was like the house of horrors. So it was there was a dark side and a bright side of this room. And it's just something that I would focus on the bright side of it.
You were focusing on the bright side, and now you have show people the bright side of their financial situation, right? So
Yes.
they're able to grow their wealth in a way that feels congruent to them without needing financial information or expertise or credibility, right?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Daphne, you can throw the mic to someone else.
I throw the mic to Evo.
Ivo, who are you? Share it with us.
I have in front of me a beautiful hammock. And this is where most people think it's just to chill down and relax. But think of it. If you do what you really like and you then have enough time, what really matters, you sit there and grow to your better you. And this is what I'm helping people. I'm helping people to find what truly matters and find the place, not just chill out, but find the place where you can lift yourself to the highest level you possible are. And this is so amazing feeling. You need to experience that. Come to my hammock.
Let's go, Ivo. That was well done. Well done. Where are you gonna throw the mic at?
To Dr. Nicole.
All right.
Nice
I've got
catch.
thank you. I've got my structure here. I don't know if you could see it. You see it? There it is. It is a Lego house. Do you see that? Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Yes, it's a Lego structure and it is a holiday themed Lego structure. So it brings together all of the things that I love, the holiday season, and it's bringing pieces of a puzzle together. So throughout my childhood, I love to take Lego pieces and build them, usually from scratch. But now as you get older, you get the kits. So throughout my life, I've loved to take pieces and put them together. And that's carried into my adulthood where I help institutions turn data into direction and put pieces of a puzzle together and find a vision for their institution so that they can have a foundation and a structure to drive their schools forward and to build a structure and have a solid school that they can build for the future. So that's kind of in short, and that makes me happy.
Let's go. Let's go. Well done.
All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to toss it over to Sean.
Oh, you guys are great catchers.
So I have this name tag that I received a little over a year ago when I was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And the reason I keep this is it represents to me my transformation from who I was as a people pleaser to putting myself first and finding the communities that I needed to be a part of to be my authentic self. And to this point, it's kind of the benchmark of where I am, of where I was, and what I can attain, but also I can attain even more from there. So it just really represents my journey to get to that point. So I empower middle-aged men to live their authentic lives, find out what that means to them, their core values, figure out what we need to add, subtract to bring them to their authentic self.
Let's go. Let's go. Well done. We're gonna throw it in to next.
Yeah. Laverne, here it comes. There you go.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I have some essential oils, and one of them is breathe, and one of them is eucalyptus. I use essential oils a lot because it helps to keep me zen. It helps me to breathe, help me to relax, help me to their essential oils can be used for many different things, but in these ones are using for relaxation because it reminds me of my past suffering with asthmatic attacks. And so I'm always looking for a zen environment. And it helps, I use them also in my practice because I help boomers to reclaim their energy and independence by creating habits and in nutrition, movement, and mindset, and supporting them.
Well done. Who do you want to throw it to, Laverne? You put yourself on mute right now, so we cannot hear.
I said, I'm looking. Let's see. Let's throw it to Anya.
With sound effect and all, there we go. Catching with one hand. You are all superstars.
I have this very exclusive lipstick palette as my object, which is atypical, a little bit like me. Inside, it's got lots of different colors. It's pretty used up because I've had this for a good while now. The expiry expires about 18 months after buying it. So, which is fantastic because I work with neurodivergent people who are a little bit different and who are often bright colored and exciting and think outside of the box, right? This is an atypical shape for a lipstick. And I also work with them longer term. So 18 months, I feel like is the kind of minimum that I would work with someone.
Well done. Good job. Who do you want to throw it to?
I don't know how to say your name. I think it's Beirut, Beirute.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly loud and
Oh,
clear.
sorry. So I just came in, but I grabbed my journal because to me, my transformation, my biggest transformation was when I started writing everything down. And that's what I teach my people. So I got my own business, and I also going into mentoring solopreneurs in client-facing industries. And I always say, just write everything down. Whatever is in your head, just write everything down. And so starting my own journey really helped me. And I love going back to where I started in 2021 and looking through my journals. And it makes me realize how far I reached. And I'm just excited to be on this journey. This is my first time. So, yeah, but this is my special item.
Well
Okay.
done. Good job.
And okay, so I'm going to throw it to, hold on, how do I see people? Okay. Oh. Nicole, have you done it? You have. Oh, Charlene, yeah? So, whoop.
I don't have wheels on my chair, so I can't go long like Sean, but here we are. I'm like, it's me, I'm the only one. So my object is my core spring. Because when Lori said, what is the coolest object in the room? I thought it might be my cat, but it's really my core spring and core spring actually, when I thought of it, represents coolness, credibility, and community for me. Because this little humble spring, you guys can see inside the sleeve, there's an expansion spring. When I co-created it just before the pandemic, when I was sitting there locked down, my business was falling apart, I was shut down, I had to close it. This little thing was sitting on the side of the room going, let's play, let's make up something, let's do something. And it represents to me play. It represents to me that I am asymptomatic for pain, and I help people live pain-free lives and find movement healing and their wellness and fitness through direct spring resistance. And it's taking me all over the world. So that's the community part.
Let's go. Let's go. Big round of applause for all of you. Who feels that you know this group a little bit better now? It's 1 minute, you guys. It's 1 minute, right? It's not 20 minutes. Sometimes when people ask you, what do? You can talk about it forever. But what if right now you can look at something in the room or look at a hobby or something that they already shared with you and you start to explain it in that exact way? Do you think that the emotional connection that that person will have with you is going to be higher, is going to stay the same, or is going to be lower than you would normally do it? Show it with your hands. Higher, right? These skills that you're learning, it's not just for this one big keynote. I want to emphasize it every single time. We'll probably say it every single class 5 times or more. It's not this one big thing we're working towards. It's the accumulation of all the things that you can already implement this with what you're already doing, where the exponential growth is going to come from, right? Just what we shared, you're not behind, you're not nowhere, like you're exactly where you need to be. And when you start to leverage these small nuances of what you're learning, which basically, by the way, if I scope out what we've been doing right now, is recognize a story, recognize a strategic story, which is recognize a coolness story, and now connect it with a teaching point, which is what is it that you're doing? So you want to educate people on something, and now you connect a story to it. And if I would do the same and I asked, what is a community object or a credibility object, and you would still connect that to what it is that you're doing. Now we're building the skill of recognizing a story. We're able to connect this now with a teaching point. And that is where you're going to build your keynote from as well, right? The story might be a little bit longer. The teaching points might be a little bit more profound, or there are more teaching points. How many actually? 3. You might see that number coming back and back. We always choose 3. So this is the skill that you're developing, and we can easily implement this when we are able to practice. Now, what we're going to do is exactly what I just said. We're going to do the same round one more time. But now I don't want you to find a coolness piece. I want you to find a credibility piece. And before we're going to do that, I would love for you to have the opportunity to ask some questions. I saw, Sean, I saw your hand raised. Was there something you want to be clarified? And is it normal to feel so nervous that you don't remember what you said? So this is actually something I would love to dive into. Who here, and let's not do the who here, but this was a specific exercise with specific explanations, right? Someone is going to call your name. When they do that, you're going to catch the mic. Now, it might be a funny exercise, but this is very, very well thought through because you need to do something first, right? Some of you might be so focused on what you're going to share because this is going to be your moment that you forget catching it. It's not about catching the mic. We will hear you. It's more about being aware that you need to do something first before you're actually going to share, which means that you need to be mindful and present with what it is that you're doing. That means that when your heart rate is going up and you're like, oh my God, it's my turn, right? Now we're training the brain to also think logically in that moment. What's also happening is you don't know when you're going to speak next. So maybe some of you, Sean, didn't even remember what you were saying. You didn't really listen to any of them because you were just so focused on, oh, is it going to be, oh, it's still not me. Oh, but maybe, oh, they're not sharing. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, I'm very much in the end. Am I not seen? Don't they see me? I mean, did I not do it right? Oh my God, right? So now all these stories start to play along. Now it's the same with happening with at the end when you need to throw it. It's like, oh my God, I'm done. Oh, release. Oh, I need to do something. Right? So all these things happen while we're doing this. That's also, by the way, why you're doing the gig live. Can you imagine that the nerves that you're feeling, that by the way, is very, very normal, that I also want to provoke because this is not just an intellectual exercise. I want you to feel stuff. Because when you feel stuff and we connect that feeling now with knowledge, you will remember. It's not about education, it's about experience learning. Can you imagine that when you do the gig, which is not just for this group, but also for other people, and it's not just about what you're saying, it's actually about a topic that's really close to your heart. It's not just 1 minute, but it's like around 10 minutes. That the feeling that you felt now, whether that is a 10 on a scale of 100 or 150 on a scale of 100, that would be a more intense. Can you imagine that? Right? So what we're doing now is we're kind of like practicing with that feeling. And creating a safe space to experience that and ask questions around it. Does it make sense? So whatever you just felt, whatever went through you, whatever thoughts came up, I didn't do it right, I didn't listen, oh, other were better, or oh, I crushed it. Oh, but did I find the right object because other people chose different topics? Did I like all the thoughts, the whole narrative that just came through you? It's absolutely okay. And you all did great. Okay. Now, are there any questions before we go into the next round? Or maybe someone who wants to share what you experienced when you did this exercise? Because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be nice to share, and other people are going to be so grateful that you were the one. Anyone have a question or wants to share? You can raise your hand. Sean?
No, I just think of myself, if I was nervous about this little exercise right now, it's like, I can't imagine when it comes to the talk, like, so I understand why we're doing this, and I definitely appreciate it. But I had such, like, on some level, anxiety like who's going to throw it to me, and what's it's an incredible feeling because you do fluctuate between excitement and anxiety and possibly even nausea. You know what I mean? So it's like it's extremely the emotions, the gambit it runs is it's just it's incredible.
That's beautiful. And who had the same experience or similar experience that you were very fixated on who was going to throw it at you? Now look at the room. You're very much not alone. Let's start there. Okay, you're very much not alone. And then second of all, the reason why we do this is because, and this is an extreme. I rather have you really prepared than be under prepared, right? In a real timeline, and Nicole, I'm curious if you experienced this before. Stuff changes all the time, right? You either are asked to be an opening keynote, but then they changed it, and then you were at this time slot, and now you're after lunch. It's like, I'm going to tell you that impacts how people are going to perceive you speaking. Or the timeline was first 30 minutes, and now it's 20 minutes. So you got to think on your feet, and you got to adapt. Now we're doing this in a pressure cooker, and you don't even know what the topic is that you're going to share about. Right? So Nicole, what you put in the chat is absolutely true, right? You are able to practice what you're going to share during the gig. This is just, you didn't expect this, right? So just know that the reason why we do this, because you now get ready for real life situations. Ivo.
I like this exercise so much because I see that I can start to connect weird things like a hammock with my topic. So I would never think about that. So if I can do that, I can do everything. And so it's building confidence. And I like this being the safe spot where you just try and stumble and do everything and succeed somehow. Just doing it. I like that. Thank you.
Beautiful. And isn't it cool? Because that's what I like about the one that you chose, Ivo, because Ivo helps people with a very, very healthy life, right? But then he's also a German Italian who now lives in Puerto Rico, right? Just knowing that about him, doesn't that like create more emotional connection to this person? Just knowing that, right? And now the hammock, right? And you were the only one, Ivo, I think almost the only one who was done well before the 60 seconds. So and this is so interesting, guys, because this 1 minute, we can evaluate this forever because there's so much to learn. Like if you go over the 1 minute, I can almost guarantee you will have a pattern of taking more time. So when you have 20 minutes and you take 25, it's not going to be nice for a host because they have their own schedule. So what you want to do as speakers, you want to be very easy to work with. So you want to understand what is the outcome that someone else wants to achieve. And it's not about how can I do my story best. It's how can I make sure that I respect their goal and own that moment and help with the transformation. So you were able to do that in less time, right? So that is interesting for you to witness. Alex, what about you?
Yeah, I have to say, now 5 weeks in, I'm much more relaxed and I don't have breathing problems. When you throw the mic the first time at me, I was like, what should I say? But and now it's just it's really a safe environment here to start this whole journey. And
that's
more
beautiful.
Out now.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And by the way, can we see that? Let's just imagine, like, and this is actually a funny story. So some of you know that it was really challenging for me to learn English. Even though people don't believe that now, that's totally okay. But it was really, really challenging to such an extent that when I passed my test, my mom bought an apple pie. She's like, this is a celebration. Let's celebrate this with the whole family. It's not a joke. It's really happened. So there was this vision of mine, and this is just a bit wild, but there was a vision while I was in studying that I would stand on stages internationally. And in order for me to become that person, I wanted to feel more comfortable with English. So I was originally studying dietary, which I'm a dietitian. I chose half a year of immersion that other people chose as, I want to learn about specific diseases or overweight or underweight or all those things and specialize. I wanted to go broader and I wanted to study English. I really did this for half a year. I absolutely was only focused on studying English because I wanted to be better in English. Now, before we were going through this half year, I had to do a test. And let's say, I don't know exactly the score, but let's say I had a score of 74 out of 100, let's just say. Now, when we finished the whole half a year, 100% focus on studying English, you know what my score was? 74. I didn't improve on a factual basis. But you know what happened with my confidence? I started with, I don't feel I can do this, to I crush it. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I feel so comfortable to speak. And that is what I wanted. So just imagine yourself, just imagine that this whole blueprint, you go over the course 3 times. And then when you see your own video, you're like, I don't even know what really changed. Now, I'm not, I really high, I know that's not going to happen, but just to make it clear, imagine if it would not. Imagine you would have the same exact test score like I had after studying half a year, like half a year, no improvement, but you will feel more confident. What is that going to do to your results no matter what? Right? Just the feeling that this is something you can do. Just the feeling that when someone says, okay, can you share this with us? You're like, of course. Do you want to be a speaker? Yes, because I am. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Of course I can. And that you feel that you can do that. Like that in itself is such an epic, epic win. Thank you for sharing, Alex. Laverne.
Laurie, thank you very much for sharing with us and teaching us the flexibility. Because as you said, sometimes you're getting ready to go on stage and they cut your time back from 30 minutes to 20 minutes. And you could sit there and just go, or you can say, you know what, I'm prepared for this. And so
Yes.
I appreciate this because this reminds me, it's one thing to go a couple minutes over or prepare and not have enough time, but to have to cut down your speech that have fully prepared and now you have to go 20 minutes. So I appreciate that, and I'm definitely going to keep that in mind because it happens.
Yes, it happens all the time. I don't think I've ever done a talk where it was exactly how I planned it. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And that is, honestly, that is what you're learning here, is to be a transformational speaker, meaning you're always aware of the outcome that you want to achieve. You're not stuck in your own narrative and your own preparation. You're able to adapt to what's actually needed. And that's how you become the memorable speaker on stage, because you know what the people need in that moment and you're willing to do that, because that's actually why you're there. It's not to open your mouth and just do the rehearsed connection of words. It's to understand, what is my outcome? What's the transformation that I'm here to create? How can I share that through teaching points that people can logically understand and implement, but also connect with stories so they can see, feel, and hear it, so they experience it just like you're doing right now. You're having an experience. Now, who knows that you're not going to forget how you felt? You're not going to forget how you felt, and now you're going to connect what you've learned through that feeling, through that experience. So now it will actually stick. Because if I would have told you, it's really important to connect this, and then you might feel some things, but you just got to go through it. It's like, yeah, great, Laurie, thank you so much for that intelligence. I could have asked that to ChatGPT. Why am I even here? Right? And that's the same with your speaking. Is when people are able to experience it, they will remember it. Look.
One very quick point. I noticed that Sean said, I felt between excited and scared. And this is a really important point when we're feeling anxious, because we can choose to feel excited or scared. If we go in between scared and calm, people say, oh, I want to calm down. It's very difficult. 2 different parts of the brain. The parts of the brain that's excited and scared are very close. So if you feel, oh, I'm anxious, I'm worried, instead just say, I'm excited to catch the mic. I'm excited to catch the mic. You'll put yourself into a state where you're excited just by verbalizing it to yourself, and then you'll prepare yourself to be ready for anything and be intuitive and just let your wisdom out in the moment. So thank you for letting me share.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. And just to give some guidelines, Sean, on how do you track your time during a talk, especially when it changes, what I would say, and this is probably going to happen, is during the gig for you in 3 weeks now, right? You're going to have an illusion on how much your time is going to be because of your practice. So you have a baseline, and then you're going to do it, and you will be in a feeling. You will be in a certain state. So what's going to be a fun experiment is to see, okay, this was my baseline when I practiced it for myself. This is what happened when I did it in front of people. With some people, it might be similar. With some people, like they thought they took 8 minutes, they took 20 minutes. So just by being in that moment, kind of like an out of body, like I just want to share, and this is like a real big thing. It was more than 200% different. So the first experiment is going to be just recognizing what's going to happen with you when you feel those feelings. And then the next step will be, okay, how can you now bring it back to what you want it to be? And then we go to a skill where you're able to pace yourself while you're speaking. Does it make sense? Right? This is different stages. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the exact same exercise. You're going to pick a topic, an object, but now it's going to be a credibility thing. Now, what you know is that credibility is something that says something about you being the expert, right? So I use examples like Lori is a TEDx speaker's coach. Oh, wow. Then she must know what she's talking about, right? So it's like these things that you do or did that will add something to your credibility. Now, I can understand, and actually, Barud, we will finish off with your introduction to everybody. Is what I love so much about what Barud is doing is she, and I'm gonna reveal a little bit already. She already has a business, right? And just knowing that she already had a business and now she's also coaching people is going to make her so credible, right? So it doesn't always have to be in the space that you're doing something in now. It can also be from the past or other things. We learned that Daphne, and I'm going to try to say it right, she is an Aikido black belt Aikidoer. And just being that, it shows that she is disciplined, that she is excelling in an area of life. So it doesn't always have to be, in Daphne's case, in the financial situation where the credibility is only coming from, right? So there's different places where you can share your credibility, which basically means it's time to brag about how amazing you are. And I'm going to put 1 minute on the clock for you to grab an object that represents that. And we're going to do the same exact exercise again. And what you are going to notice is that the emotional experience will be different this round because you went through it first. Make sense? Can we get thumbs up if the exercise is clear? Superissimo. Then 1 minute on the clock. Grab your item right now. Nicole was focused. She's like, I already know what I'm gonna grab. We've got some people that might bring in the pool table this time. I'm very curious. I love that you're coming back with smiles. It's like, wow, I'm excited to share this. Ivo chilling in the hammock. All right, 2, 1, time is up. Come back to your seat, come back to your place, come back to your space. because we're going to start. We're going to do this the same way as we just did it. All right, I'm going to throw the mic at someone. When you catch the mic, there's 1 minute on the clock. When the 1 minute is done, your time's over. And the outcome of this is that when you share, we understand how you're credible, but we also understand again what it is that you're doing. Because some people in this group have already heard you share. Some of you might see it for the first time. Some of you might be on this journey with you for 4 weeks and they still kind of don't understand what you're doing, right? So you always want to use these opportunities to also share what it is that you're doing. So connect a story of your credibility to what it is that you're doing. All right? All right. I'm going to throw the mic to Ivo. I know that was with force. Your time starts
Thank
now. Let's
you.
go.
My glasses are because I'm on Earth for many years now, and my sight is getting weaker. But at the same time, I got a lot of experience. I started in the corporate world, and there I learned complexity, which is the left brain. And then I started formation to be an outdoor trainer in nature, live with nature, not escaping from nature, with nature, which is complexity, and it's the right brain. So I'm able to connect the left brain, which most of the world can, but only a few people can connect with the right brain and complexity. And knowing the difference, this is where everything starts and everything matters.
Let's go. Well done, Ivo.
Charlene.
Okay. I have two patents. I have two patents on my humble little spring, surprisingly. And I can put a seal, an embossing seal on documents from my company. And getting a patent was like getting a PhD, because I had to explain what I do and what this humble device actually creates, not just in scientific terms and physics, but in legal terms. And so it took all my capacities and all my background and everything that I've done throughout my life, not just my adult life, to heal and to communicate healing to people. And I managed to protect this idea by patenting it. So it would be a respected. Oh. Thank you. I forgot. I got to toss. I'm going to toss it to Daphne.
It's weird. I always feel like I know who's going to say my name. I chose the item of Aikido, one of the many books that I have. I have bookshelves all over the house, and I started off as not liking to read at all. Almost, I had to teach myself how to read, and so I lacked a lot of confidence in that. But over time, I just build my confidence through reading, and not just reading, but applying the knowledge and that I've learned over the time, and knowing the first step that I've taken when I joined Aikido later in life at 28 years old, and doing it from a position of fear, and because I wanted to learn self-defense, and how I didn't care anything about the black belt and the status of it. So we were told to leave our ego at the door and learn and grow. And so I learned how to stop. Oh, I'd like to toss the mic to Laverne.
Thank you. This was a little challenging, but What I have here, and I don't know if you can see it, it's a plastic plate. And I'm going to use it for 2 examples. So in my business, as a lifestyle transformation coach, working with clients to help them to reclaim their health through nutrition, movement, and mindset, this plate, I teach them how to balance, how to eat in moderation. But also, I use this plate in my Tai Chi movements to help me to keep my spine flexible. And so I want to make sure that my clients understand that health is not only about nutrition, but it's about movement. It's about mindset. It's about doing the things that you need to do healthy naturally. Thank you. And I am going to toss this mic to Brute.
Oh my God, I hope I'm gonna get better at this. But my item, I just grabbed this book that one of my team members just released, and it's on Amazon and it's on perimenopause. So I've got my community of people, and actually I mentioned here, she mentioned me in acknowledgement that that I show her what the true community is. And this is what I'm trying to do now, actually. So I work with self-employed people in client-faced businesses, and how to find clarity, take confident action, and I'm trying to create a community where we love, care, and support each other. So this is very close to my heart, and I'm very, very proud of my girl who wrote this book. And now I'm gonna throw it to Sean.
This was a gift from this extremely incredible young man, Andrew, that I had a privilege to work with for a season at a music casino venue as his life coach. Now, I didn't start off, I have no background in working with special needs people, but yet he is the 4th one I've worked with over the past few years. And it's been amazing to watch the transformations and just support them. And he was incredible. His smile, his laughter brought, everyone loved him. And it was a joy to work with him. And that's just what I want to bring to the men I work with now, is to empower them and show them their transformation and bring them to their authentic self. I got wrapped up. All right. Alex, coming your way.
So I didn't take any piece of credibility because I have an amazing background at the moment about what I'm doing. I'm very creative and get called in for the most difficult, adventurous event deliveries. What you see in the background is 100 years Aston Martin celebration, and they wanted to celebrate it on top of a helipad of this most famous hotel, what looks like a sail, Burj Al Arab in Dubai. So they called me in to actually make this happen and fly a full-size heavy car with the helicopter to a helipad. Ah. No, I forgot to. Anja, thank you for the hint.
Thank you for the mic. My item is this elastic band, which is used for working out, but it also has a double meanings. And the reason why I'm using it is because as a neurodivergent person who was never diagnosed up until very recently, I'm in my mid 40s, and this was really a very recent thing for me to understand about myself. I am incredibly resilient, even though I have real executive function issues. I managed to get myself through school, through university, through postgrad. I'm really disciplined and go to the gym and work out. And the other thing about this is that the way we're using it is it's hooked onto a chair on our dining table so that my neurodivergent daughter can kick against this. So I've got strategies as well. Has anyone not been? Or is that everybody? Oh, Nicole, here's the mic.
I better go. Everyone had so many exciting things. So wait for my timer to start. There it goes. So my item is a book that I wrote. It actually was written as a result of my first TEDx because I had to cut so much out that I turned the rest of it into a book. And the title is Your School Sucks, Why Schools Fail to Measure Up and What to Do About It. And the essence of it is because schools work really hard at doing the right things, yet oftentimes there's somebody in the community or even within the school that says your school sucks, and they shouldn't. What I found in my years of experience is that oftentimes it's because we're not looking at the right data in the right ways, or we're looking at it from two different perspectives. And if we're only looking at it from the same lens or we're on the same page, that we can do so much more together. So my title of my TED Talk was Better Measurement for Better Schools. And that's really at the core of the book is if we can reduce the error in our decision making through better data, then we can have better outcomes for our schools. And that's what I do. So.
Let's go. Absolutely amazing. Now we're going to do this one more time. Who here feels that you have a better connection and better understanding of every single one in this room right now? You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes in total, right? And Evo 1.5. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Who feels that they crushed it, by the way? Some of you. Who feels that other people crushed it? Absolutely crushed it. Every single one of them, right? Look at all the hands. It was harder to say this about yourself, and it's very easy to see it in others. And that has everything to do with your thoughts and your rules of success of how you see yourself and how you feel you need to be in order to be recognized. Because your gift, your knowledge, your credibility, your coolness is quote unquote obvious to you because it is who you are, right? For you, it might be really normal that you have a black belt or that, I mean, that you have acknowledgement in a book of someone who is inspired by you, right? Or you wrote a book. It's like these things are so incredibly cool. And it's for us to recognize how amazing and how credible it actually makes us. So now we give ourselves the permission to be good enough to stand on the stages. Sometimes that is just that recognition that will move the needle. You will get better over time no matter what. And it's just for you to be willing to say, you know what, my starting point is good enough to go. My starting point is good enough to go. I would love to hear some experiences again, because who here got something out of the experience of other people, by the way? When we do the gig, just for all of you to know, and some of you experienced it last week, is when we do the gig, we don't just finish it and go. Because what's going to happen is you will have your own feelings. Some of you will feel so relieved and proud, and some of you might actually be a little disappointed. You know, whatever you feel, it's okay. It's really okay. So what we're doing is we'll come back to the Zoom room and we're going to give you what we call a fountain of compliments. because what you're going to notice is that what other people see when they're listening to you is probably very, very different than how you've experienced it. And that your experience is exactly perfect. How you experience, like, we're not going to argue that. We're just going to share also other perspective of how other people have experienced it. So it might just increase your awareness of how amazing you actually are. And the cool thing about this moment is that people share how they experienced it. So when you're listening, you're like, whoa, they crushed it. They're so much, quote unquote, better than me. And then the person shares, like, yeah, and I didn't do it. And I'm so disappointed. And you're like, huh? What? But just the awareness that people who crush it on stage might also feel those feelings might give you the space that you need to just accelerate. So sharing these thoughts and these feelings afterwards is so helpful, A, for you to voice it out and not feel uncomfortable or weird that you might feel like, oh, I feel that I didn't do it right. It's okay. Voice it out. So it's like out of your system. And second, it might actually inspire someone else to be like, oh my God, I was not having the courage in the moment to share that, but now someone else does. I feel seen. I feel not alone. And that is what this community is about. It's not about perfection. It's not about perfection. It's about recognizing the growth and keep moving forward every single time. So who here would love to share how you experienced this? Anya.
I experienced it as nerve-wracking. I also couldn't find the item that I was looking for. I was looking for a book, and I then kept changing my mind as to what I was going to do. And then when I was talking, I completely lost track of time, and felt like I could have said a lot more, and or said it more eloquently. There you go. That is
Interesting.
how I feel about it.
Interesting. So before we go to the next person, who would love to share about how they experienced what Anya shared? Because I can do that first. I thought it was so well thought through, you know? Like, you had an object, you shared, it was very clear what it is that you are doing. You shared about your own experience, you shared about university, you shared about the child. I'm like, well, this woman is connecting community into it. She has different timelines. I love it. Right? So sometimes, and this is exactly, like, this is exactly a beautiful breakthrough, is what you think your script is going to be, right? What you think you want to share, also regarding your stories. You might all have a story in your mind. It's like, this is going to be my story, right? This is the hero's journey that everybody is talking about. This is mine. And maybe you're really connected to that book, to that script, to that one thing that in your mind is going to give the best experience. But because of pressure in this time, or maybe sometimes it's intuition, or maybe it's just a little bit of courage to try something new, you actually notice that what you've experienced is not what other people experience. And sometimes what you think is going to be very powerful might not be the power that was actually needed in the room. And what you just did, I thought it was brilliant. So there you go.
Thank you so much.
You got it. Sean.
No, I liked when you said something about credibility, to which something you've done in the past, because sometimes, and I still work with a gentleman on the spectrum in the community, but sometimes I don't pair them up thinking that there is no credibility there when in essence there is. So I may even start talking about that time even more in my posts and stuff, just to
Sean,
show
what makes that so credible then?
that I show up for people, I'm their coach, that I'm with them through transformations and stages in their life.
Yeah, and let's help Sean a little bit. What made this story so incredibly credible? Because I agree. I mean, I'm also asking the question like, you need to explain yourself, but it's more to kind of riff out loud together how credible that makes Sean. Like, let's do this out loud. Let's do this in the chat, because we're with a group. What makes Sean's story so credible? And if you're like, oh my God, I didn't really listen to Sean's story because I was busy with my own story, you're good. You're good. Just smile. Just smile at the camera. Sean is such a big-hearted man. the fact that the boy made you that gift meant that you meant so much to him. You obviously did an amazing job. The same with the acknowledgement for you, Birut, right? If someone else is able to give this to you, it's like you're now bragging about yourself in maybe a way that for a lot of you is way more comfortable. It's like, well, someone else said this. I cannot deny that, right? Someone else gave me this.
I'll say too, he also gave me a t-shirt from the concert venue. So it was
I mean,
around
come
Christmas
on
time
now.
too. It was a beautiful gift.
Isn't that so cool? So now you're sharing credibility, you're sharing coolness and community in one story, right?
Mhm.
Isn't that cool? Isn't it cool that in time pressure, you just come up with different stories? Was this in your story library, Sean? Is this in your keynote that you designed?
Yeah, actually in the library, I have all three C's and this falls under credibility and community.
But did you have this specific story?
No, not this specific one, no.
There you
I
go.
will
So,
now.
right? Isn't that cool? So sometimes in time pressure, we're able to come up with so many ideas, right? This whole keynote that you're working on, we do this in a time frame of 8 weeks. I don't want you to have the illusion that when you want to iterate upon it, you need another 8 weeks. You can do this in minutes if you want to, right? When you start to see the framework, when you start to see, okay, I have multiple stories, they all have different coolness, community, credibility, they cover different things. If you did not completely go through the course, you're like, what's she talking about? You'll get clarity through the course, right? You are able to swap these stories. And when you're able to, for example, this is what I do personally often, is when I do a podcast, I see this for myself as a low risk testing field. So in a podcast, I know that people are asking me certain questions. It's always similar. So I'm just reverse engineering, like what stories do I want to share and include somehow? And sometimes I don't have so much time to prepare, so I just do what I already done. But when I want to test new material, that's beautiful, a beautiful time frame to test out a story. And the first time I share it, sometimes it's very unelegant. It's very unelegant, but I feel that's okay because people will love it anyways because they're going through their own experience. I'm more aware of my own storytelling, whatever, but people have their own experience, especially when you ask a question through the story. So people are thinking about that question. They're not so much thinking about you. So just know that, now we're doing this in 1 minute on time pressure, but this is something you can do as well. This is something you can do in your own Zoom call. This is what you can do with your own clients where you're like, oh, I'm going to test this new story. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to do this in a different way. And this is where you start to play and also practice every single day. So now this doesn't become this external thing you need to craft time for. This is something you can integrate with everything you're already doing. Make sense? Beautiful. Last two shares, Charlene.
I love this process. One of the things that keeps coming to my mind is you can either be doing it and doing it imperfectly and maybe falling flat on your face if that's how you feel, or you could be home not doing it at all.
Yes.
I could just not be doing this and not growing.
Yes.
You know,
And
this
wouldn't
is
it be
not
an easy decision, right? Wouldn't that be the
a
easy
really
one?
easy decision. Just keep my head on the pillow and forget about it.
Right?
So
Yes.
every time, I feel nervous about doing this, I think to myself, you have a choice. You don't have to be doing this.
Yes.
But, public speaking is, as Lori repeats often, is one of the biggest fears we have because it puts everything on the line. You're putting everything on the line. We're in a very safe place to learn how to put it on the line when it really counts for our career and our credibility and what we want to build and create in our lives and how we want to serve people. So this is where we
Yes.
get our feet wet, so to speak. So anyway, I really
Yes.
enjoy this process. I don't relish it, but it's extremely important for me, especially since what I'm trying to do, I have the coolness, I've got the credibility. I want to build my community. So being here with you guys is helping me understand how to communicate and to create and build a community. So thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.
Let's go. Let's go, you guys. Isn't it cool to just spend this time together? And when you talk about putting your head on a pillow, like right now for me, it's 3:30 a.m. I'm still in Australia, so don't talk too much about a pillow. I'm joking. Absolutely amazing. So cool. And the words we speak create the reality we live in, right? So when we're talking about putting everything on the line, now the consequence is really high. How I define speaking for myself, and I mean how fascinating it was for me to learn English was also the same journey of how fascinating it was for me to feel comfortable on stage. So when you think that it was a talent, a gift, or a skill that I already had, it's like that that's not true. Just saying, it's not true. But the language that I use now is public speaking for me is the biggest personal growth present that I can give to myself. So it's not something I'm, you know, I don't have a risk because the outcome that I'm getting is personal growth. It's either personal growth that I was expected and I really like, or it's the one that I unexpected and might need a minute to process. But it's a gift to myself every single time. So every time I say yes, I'm like, oh, give myself another gift. And when we start to associate that with speaking, not I need to do a perfect speech and I need to have a perfect script, but I'm going to be able to practice material that I'm now able to use. Or and this is what I love as well, is I am able to make decisions in my life where I know there's going to be a story. This whole cruise that I'm now off, because now I'm in Sydney, Australia, is one of the decisions was I'm going to have stories to share. Because of course we're always busy. I was also busy. I was doubting to join. But who got something about got something out of me being on that cruise? By stories I told through my experience, either in this class or the newsletter or posts, right? I now make decisions based on I know I'm going to experience something that I now can reshare as a story for someone else. So now I'm even living my life to imagine I'm always sharing it on stages that I either stand on or create. And that brings me a more fascinating life that I enjoy more. Because every time I don't like what I'm going through, I just know that I'm going to use it to share a story later. So now it has a meaning. So just know that you're all giving yourself such a gift. We're 1 minute over time, but who agrees that we should listen to Ivo's share? Ivo.
Yes, I really like this exercise and I completely relate to Charlene, what she said and what the others shared. But what I like is, for me, this is like a playground for experiences, like you said, Laurie. So I don't take the perfect thing for this exercise. I just take what I have. So if I can do this, I can do it everywhere. I can just be in the moment, see something and make a story out of it. And this is what I like, expanding this rules of this game.
Yes. Well done. Proud of all of you. Proud of all of you. And somehow, every single time, these lessons are all on camera. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? This is the interactive safe space. And for some of you, this is lesson 5, and you're like 3 weeks close to your gig, and you're like, I start to have very specific questions about this thing. I just want you to know that in the portal, this is for everybody, in the portal, in the Speaking Academy portal, where you also watch the replays, there are some videos that explain a gig, that explain you how to best prepare for your bonus call. There are some videos on or some FAQs. So just start to go through those when you want to prepare. And some of you really love the visual explanation. There's even like a tech check. So if you're starting to become excited about the whole tech situation, you're like, oh, I now watched it from the back, but how is it for me to participate in? There's a whole video on a tech check that we also will do live, but I know that some of you really love to prepare. So just know that those assets are there for you. So just leverage them if you want to know. Sean, you're able to see the chat, but it will be a delay. I saw your question in this chat. But just know that in the video, we'll just walk you through exactly how that's going to happen. So know that those resources are out there. And if you're not able to find them, just ask it in the WhatsApp group. We will, and you will get an email for everybody who's close to their gig to schedule it. So you're able to schedule it yourself. And I think you will get that email today. And for all of you that are starting, Barut, Anya, Dennis, Charlene, this is your transformational, right? This is your week 1. You're on the journey with people who are already halfway, which shows you where you're going, which shows you in 3 weeks how they're going to do their gig. So you're experiencing life, how that's going to be for you when you are doing it, which will show you visually how that's going to be about. You're also going to see how they're all putting all these little puzzle pieces together in one talk. Right? So you have an example of how that's going to work for you. Now, I know that we're 4 minutes over time. I do want to give some space to answer factual questions, and I would love, Beirut, for you to introduce yourself to the group, even though we did it a little bit already. Or to share
Oh,
your
hello.
biggest win.
So actually, I wanted to ask you what to do next. But so here we go to my introduction. So I'm Birute. Oh my God. So when I was talking to Luke yesterday, it was these wow moments. So basically, I was telling my story. So I was an accountant, then I became makeup artist, then I became business owner, and now I'm starting to mentor business owners, small business owners. And he showed me this way that I didn't realize how much value I can give myself, because he said, so look, from accountancy to makeup artist, and it's such a big, it's finances and it's creative. You have such a gift. And actually, Laurie, when you were saying now just about that you had to really learn, it didn't come naturally to you, and it made me realize that for me to become makeup artist, it didn't come naturally to me as well. I had to work so hard, and then I became actually a national winner for wedding industry in England, which was my cherry on the cake. And then I opened my studio after COVID, because I wanted to create communities. So I opened this co-working space for hair and beauty freelancers to come and use the studio to work together. And so now it's 12 of us in the studio, and one of them is the author. And this what I want to do. I haven't got like proper business yet, but that's what I want to do. I want to start sharing what I learned, what skills I have. And because I'm really caring, I'm really loving, and this beauty industry can be very bitchy and very not very nice industry to be in. And I'm trying to show that it can be, and we can have joy in business and in life, and it's not just all about money. It's just having this joy in life and business. And that's what I'm trying to create, this community, and lead people with care and love, and just seeing business differently and have clarity. But yeah, so yeah, I'm like, that's why I'm here actually to get Laurie, because I'm a bit
Yeah, so good. So good. And just by this share of different perspectives, you're already sharing community, coolness, and credibility, and all of that is going to come together. So welcome all of you, and congratulations for all of you on the journey. For everybody who needs to go, a little invitation to create a video that we do every single week. To create a video right after this class where you're answering these 3 questions. Number 1, what was an insight of today? Right? Maybe there were a lot of different things. Maybe it was a nuance. It's really good for you to write that down for yourself, so you're actually anchoring that lesson in your body. So the first question is, what was the insight? What was the breakthrough? Number 2, who remembers it? Everybody that's already here. Sean, what are you going to do?
Give someone a shout out.
Almost, yes. We're gonna do some shout outs. The second one, you're good. The second one is, what are you gonna do before we see each other next? It's really cool to learn. It's really good to have insights. And at the same time, insights are not going to create this transformation. It's when you have an insight and you're going to do something with it. So either you're going to watch the course again, you're going to download your ideas on what stories to use in your blueprint, you're going to fill your story library, you're going to test a story out in a conversation that you have this week. Make it specific. Make it specific, because through action, you're going to get the results. And then number 3, and this is what Sean was talking about, which is a really important one, is who in this group are you grateful for today and why? And why? That can literally be, I got so much out of your share. I just want you to know that. What Charlene said, speaking is still number 1 fear of human alive. So whatever thoughts go through your mind or whatever feelings you have, it's like, you're human. Congratulations. So by sharing that gratitude, it's going to do something for you. You're going to start to focus on how you appreciate the people in this group, but you're also able to share it with someone else. So when someone else is watching your video and they're like, oh, she's talking to me. Did I do this? I didn't even know. Like, that feeling is going to mean so much to someone else. So who's willing to create that video right after we stop this Zoom? Beautiful. And then you're going to share that video in our WhatsApp group of the Speaking Academy. As you know, you have 2 different WhatsApp groups. There's the Speaking Community, which is related to the Monday calls where everybody's part of. And this video you can share in the Speaking Academy that is for this group. The only person I think we're missing right now is Dennis. Dennis, welcome to the replay, and he will introduce himself to the group next time. He is also in Sydney, Australia, so I think he was not so excited to wake up at 2 a.m., which is understandable. But you will meet him. He's absolutely amazing. So when we close off the Zoom, go make that video and share it in the WhatsApp group, and we'll see each other next week. For everybody who has specific questions, I will stay on for 5 minutes to just answer them if you have specific ones that you feel need clarity. But for everybody else, we love you. The replay will be up in your portal. Now go do the action.
So Laurie, can I just ask? So what do I
Yes.
need to do now? I'll do this video, but what do I need to do, like, in a week? What actions do
Yes.
people do?
Very good question. So you want to watch the whole entire course, right? So you have access to the blueprint. You want to watch all the different videos. And then the outcome that you have is when you do your gig, you have a whole video of that, right? So there are some milestones in between that we want to cover. In the course, you're going to have the whole curriculum on how to build your talk. You're going to have your whole curriculum. So while you're watching the videos, you want to kind of like download the ideas that you already start to get in the blueprint. When I say blueprint, do you know what I mean with that, Beirut?
Yeah, that sheet of paper, yeah?
Exactly.
That we printed out. Let me just go on.
So in that sheet of paper, you will have your aim, you will have your different stories, you will have a place where you have your story library that you can fill in. So there's all these different elements that you want to feed information. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to put a lot of information in, you're kind of start to download it. Some people, they kind of like think it through and then put all at once. Some people, and this is more what works for me personally, is when I watch a video, I kind of like put immediately my thoughts into the blueprint. And then what's going to happen, and this is kind of like a nice milestone for you to think through, is to kind of have your, let's say, download phase in the first half. Because what's going to happen when you see other people speak, some elements are just going to click for you because you see an example of someone that you now work together with. You're going to see how they put the whole entire talk together. And that's going to be the moment where you want to preferably mostly want to focus on refinement. Now, for other people, it works differently when they're like, I have a lot of ideas, but I'm not able to make decisions. Now I see someone else. Okay, now I know how to immediately do the whole thing, right? What I would say, your action steps, watch the course, make it a priority to finish it before we see each other next. And then start downloading your ideas into the blueprint.
Okay.
Does that,
And then replays as well. There's lots of replays in here, yeah?
yeah, so the replays you don't need to worry about at all. So the
Okay.
replays of the Speaking Academy, don't bother. Don't bother. It's not a priority. The focus is on the course, is the epic keynote with a gray background. That's what you want to go through. That's what you want to focus on right now.
Ah, you see, I thought, yeah, excellent. Because I started with the Speaking Academy. I filled in quite a lot already. Yeah,
That's a lot of
that
videos.
makes sense.
All right, beautiful. And
Thank
and just
you.
know that you got all the emails. And when you go through the emails, it's really specifically explained as well. So if you feel like it's unclear, just go through the email. If it's still not clear, just ask in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Good?
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
got it. Absolutely
perfect. Thank
amazing.
you.
Well done. Any other questions? Anya or Alex? Are we
Yeah,
good?
I have something. There's a certain percentages of people in the world, they
Yes.
completely getting crazy with the storytelling, and they just come to the point, and how you deal with these people or just ignore them because it's a small percentage. When you start explaining things and they just want to have 1, 2, 3 facts and that's it.
That's a very good question, especially in your industry, right?
Yes.
So what I would say with this, Alex, is you want to reverse engineer the outcome that you're looking for. In the end, all human beings, how factual we are, we make decisions based on emotional connection. That's just a human psychology fact. At the same time, there are people, especially in your industry, who value speed and credibility. So what I would do in your case, and this is strategic positioning of stories. In your case, I would prioritize, and it depends what the audience is, right? Because you also want to educate people in your industry, that will be different. But when we're talking about connecting with your potential clients or people who are high up in the industry that just want to basically know the stuff, is to prioritize credibility stories and to make them short. So and I just don't want to dive too deep into the content because then we get very specific. But how I would see this for you is the helicopter story. I mean, that's just a super, super good story. So how you can do this, for example, if someone asks you a question, well, this is actually a great question. And this is the same sort of question that I got when I helped this with this, and this. And this is how I answer it to them, which applies to you as well. So now you're kind of like integrating a story to a very factual question with a very factual answer, but you're still integrating a story in there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
now when talking about it, I mean, the similar like this helicopter. 2 days ago, they called me if I can help them out in Jeddah. And just because I made it happen, and I said, okay, I fly in, it's the best we talk. And they see my commitment to get them out of their shit. So
Exactly.
that's already half of the story they creating in flying me in.
Yes, absolutely. And just know that the skills that you're learning, right, you can apply them in different ways in different occasions. So when you're talking to a client and they just want a quote, they just want like a proposal or something, like what they're always asking for will be the logic. Doesn't mean they don't need the emotional piece, but it does mean that we want to be strategic. You don't want to talk about your coolness and community stories for 20 minutes. It's like, oh, that would be so out of place. But it's still possible to create visuals and anchors while you're sharing that information logically too. So for you, it's going to be different for different audiences. And in your case, it's quite extremely different just because of the intensity of your work, the credibility that you've already built, and the speed that they want it in.
Okay.
Good question. Does it clarify?
Yeah. So while we're talking, I answer half of it myself. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, in terms of, as you said, credibility is very important. When you talk to the clients and everybody wants something now. We are in a silly season at the moment. So when I say, yeah, we're working already on under 17 World Cup, and here are 2 fan zones, and here on the stadium, and I really need to see if we can squeeze your project in, then you also, I build scarcity and make them worried that I'm not available for them. So I
Yes,
can also
exactly.
raise my price like that.
Exactly. Well done. You're all on the journey. You're all in the right place. And just know that when you have questions in between, the WhatsApp group is open. All right. So you can just answer or ask any question that kind of pops up. And these quote unquote small questions, or maybe you feel like, should I ask? Should I not? Just always ask, right? Because the more you're going to interact, the more you're going to have it top of mind, the more speed you're going to experience in this. Look, last one before we close off.
Just very quickly on that one, Alex, the other thing that you can do to bring a story in is sometimes people will say, what does it cost to work with you? And you are a high ticket business. So you could say, well, obviously it depends on your requirements, but recently we did a job that cost $250,000 because we had to fly these Aston Martins in by helicopter to the top of a rooftop. Everybody said it was impossible. We found a way. So that's why it was so high. But you can get started for as little as 10,000. So it's price anchoring and positioning, but also you can bring in a cool story just from a simple question like, what does it cost to work with you? Which is difficult to answer. We can create a really great answer by price anchoring high, but offering it can be inexpensive, but this is how cool we are.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah, good one. Good. All right, now create that video, put it in the WhatsApp, and we're here for you every step of the way. See you next week, man.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.